How can you make this happen? How can you make it work? I was working with a client, and another contractor said that we couldn't do something. And the question is not that we can do it, but how can we get it done? And that is the question. And this is not just in business life. This is in personal life as well. But how can you get something done? The conversation was around conversion rates and getting conversion rates to double digits. I have seen this done based on where I was with another client, and we're currently under a double-digit conversion rate, and the person that is overseeing the that component, the PPC ads and SEO, is like, this is as good as it's gonna get, and that's the wrong mentality to have, because you need to have an open mind. It's certainly very difficult to have an open mind, especially if you've experienced certain things or you've just developed these stories that this is as good as it's gonna get, and maybe it's as good as it's gonna get for what has been done up until this point. But when you start to ask, what are we not doing that we could be doing in order to get to the next step? It's always about keeping an open mind. How do you keep an open mind? How do you keep fresh eyes on the project? How do you keep fresh eyes on a goal? How do you keep moving forward? How do you keep on pushing the limits of where you can go in order to get to where you want to be? It really does come down to, how can we make this happen? What needs to happen in order for us to get to the next step? What are we not doing that we could be doing in order to get to the next step? It's about asking questions and continuing to push your limits of what you can do. I recently invested in a acquisition.com workshop, and they talked about 70% more, 20% better, and 10% new. So thinking like, you don't have to, for 30% of what you're doing, for 90% of what you're doing, you don't have to change it. Just do more and do some of it better. But then for 10% of what you're doing, you peel away 10% and make new things and try different things and test everything out. If you're not testing, you're not growing. If you're not having the mentality of, hey, we might burn this 10%, then and we're gonna be okay with that, because at least we're trying. If we don't try, we'll never know. If you don't try, it will always be a no. It will always be a failure. It will always not work. You'll always stay just where you're at, and that will be where it is. Take 10% of what you're doing and do new things. Experiment, try, A/B test. Sorry, I got tripping over some words here. A/B test and try new things. I was reading this book by David Trott called Predatory Thinking. I highly recommend you pick it up. And he was talking about this, and this kind of ties in. So if you want to find a way to believe, you will, and if you want to find to make it rubbish, you will. He's from Europe, and that goes back to Henry Ford and his quote of think you can or think you can't, either way you're right. And that's so true, because if you think you can do something, then you can do it. And you can't fail, because every failure or every instance where you didn't achieve what you set out to achieve is a learning opportunity. So if you're learning or you're taking away information and trying to dissect and understand where the pitfalls were, where the customer journey failed, where the whatever happened, then you're not failing, because you're learning. And that really opens the door to any opportunity if you change your mindset on failure and learning, because they're two different things. You could fail, but if you don't learn from it, then it was definitely just a failure. And you might see that as a stopping point. But if you look at it from a opportunity to learn, then you can just apply what you're learning or try something new, the 10% new. Like everything else, I think it makes sense to keep an open mind. I totally agree with that. Keep an open mind of where you're at, where you want to go, and how you can get there. And talk amongst your people, talk amongst yourselves about how you can get there. Get as many ideas as you can. What makes sense? What are all the dots that need to fall into place in order to see you get to this next step? There's certainly a way to do everything. I think like ideas aren't just, they're just not crazy ideas, right? Every idea could be a really good idea. Every idea could change the world. Every idea could connect the dot between a 6-figure business and a 7-figure business, a 7-figure business and an 8-figure business. There's so many opportunities to scale and grow and create more value and create more impact, but you have to take action on those and have an open mind when it comes to something that's new. Something that's new is always going to be, new is scary, change is scary. But if you're not willing to have the open mind and ask the question, how can we get there? Then you're gonna pigeonhole yourself. You're gonna put yourself in a box, and there's no need to put a box or a ceiling over your head because of the opportunity that's out there, the opportunity to connect, the opportunity for online connection through digital resources, the opportunity to market, the opportunity to create brand awareness, brand authority in the marketplace, strategies and tactics, being a lot more strategic in how things are done. Maybe instead of just sending people to a landing page, you build out landing page specifically to those demographics. Maybe you build out 3 different landing pages and then you differentiate how you're sending those landing pages out. Maybe you upload a lead list or create 3 different uploads based on age demographics, and then build components of a landing page that speak directly to the age demographics of those leads or certain types of customers. There's so much nuance that you can add into something to answer the question of how do we get this done in order to achieve the thing that we want to achieve. You can stop at any time, but you can do so much more detailed answers. So answer the question, how can you get it done? How can we make it happen? And then have an open mind for at least 10% new. How can you get it done? How can you make it happen? And then just take action and make it happen. And understand that it might not happen on the first try. It might not happen on the first 100 tries. It might happen on the 10,000th try. It might happen at 100,000 tries. 10,000 is, it took Edison 10,000 tries to make the light bulb. So I was trying to make a connection there, and then I had to go over to 100,000. There's so much opportunity. Ask yourself, how can you make it happen? And then try to figure out how to make it happen, and then take action on making it happen. If you need help with any of your marketing strategy or budgets for 2026 or beyond, I would love to have a conversation with you, understand what your goals are, and how I might be able to help you connect to your prime audience and build brand awareness and brand authority in your marketplace. Please reach out directly at my email, or you can drop a comment in this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.